Lyzhychko Natalya Novakova and Olga Sergeeva, and we are going to discuss a volunteer providing urgent support to Donbas refugees from Slavyansk and Kramatorsk. Greetings to all. We have decided not to bring a number of people who were also involved in the volunteer initiative to support Donbas refugees from hot spots of Ukraine. Today, I apologize, I have to answer this telephone call. Right now, we are buying 16 tickets for people who needed to be urgently moved away from the hotspots. Today, as of today, we have been dealing with that for 4 days. The mechanism of our work is very difficult. Today, what we needed to do is to take my money and to buy tickets to transport people for some people who were already moved from the hotspots. Who we are? My name is Ruslana. This is public initiative Vostok SOS, Euromaydan SOS, Donbas SOS. These are the volunteers who joined together to help with evacuating and helping people. I've spent 3 days to go around all the ministries, all the cabinets, all the structures, working with everybody who is working with anti-terrorist operation or other issues related to supporting refugees. You can think for yourself. I have to spend my own money to help moving people away from the hotspots. We have only started working with people. We have cooperated with the Renat Akhmetov Foundation. I'm working with this foundation for the second time. First time we have worked with them was in 2008. During the floods in Ukraine. This was the only foundation who was able of helping people immediately right now. This foundation has been evacuating people for 21 days. As of today, they have evacuated 27,000 people. Their volunteers go around collecting, gathering people. And today they say is that people there are used to war. Some of them are not willing to move away from Slavyansk. They do not quite understand the danger. My today's press conference is dedicated to use you to address the inhabitants of the East. Dear friends, if you hear volunteers telling you that SOS groups or the Renat Akhmetov Foundation really do support you to move away from the hotspots. This is true. People are waiting for you here. Together with the volunteers, we are trying to get everybody together to provide you with the first-hand assistance. And we ask you not to think about your beloved flats, TVs, property, but rather we beg you to think about your life. The only thing you need to do is to take a decision and to move away from Slavyansk for some time, or for the life being, if you like, living in other time. When everything is over, you will be able to go back, but right now it is better not to stay there. This is a message to people who are already used to the military actions. They have small children, but they cannot yet get internal resources to move away from there. The country has the resources to provide social aid. We have the headquarters, and we are going to hold a permanent continuous press conferences in the Cabinet of Ministers of Ukraine. And these are the people who will report on what they have done. This is what we have already managed to do, to achieve. And now, the following message. What is happening in the East for me personally? What is happening in the East is the question of image of Ukraine, both internationally and the way we perceive ourselves, whether we are ready to help ourselves. What is very important is that people who wanted to migrate within Ukraine rather than immigrate into Russia. There are more of people who are willing to migrate within Ukraine, and we will do everything to protect our brothers from the east. They are the Ukrainians, and this is all that we have to say. Unfortunately, today we do not yet have very well organized actions to help migration. The biggest problem is a lack of the humanitarian corridor, lack of coordination, lack of a unified mechanism, and coverage of the expenses by the government. But what we would like to add, what is good about volunteers? Volunteers push this through. They do not sleep, they keep on working. And this gives the opportunity to the state to move forward. The state is the rather inert mechanism, and we need to push it forward. If anybody will try stealing money from the humanitarian aid, we will see that, because if we see any link broken, we will see that. If some regional headquarters will fail working, we will see that. If somebody will lose possibility to move people away from the hotspots timely, we will see that. So my message to all, I address you all. Of course, I have some resources of my own that I can spend on this work. For instance, today we go and buy 16 tickets in the railroad office. We have opened the special sub-account for getting an opportunity to resolve these issues. We can rely either on our own funds or on the state budget. So if anybody is interested in providing assistance to evacuate people, you can do it through our foundations. My foundation, Ukrainian Dawn, has opened a special account for assistance during evacuation, and Euromaydan SOS has also opened the sub-account. And now I would like to say a couple of words in English, and then I will give a floor to Olga Sergeeva of Vostok SOS.
Currently taking place in the east of Ukraine is the question of Ukraine's image, whether on the international level or in our own eyes. Are we ready to help each other being on our own? Iconic that there are a lot more people who are willing to flee towards Ukraine than those running towards Russia. We will do everything possible to protect our brothers from the east. They are Ukrainian. No more words needed. Вони українці, і цим все сказано. Цим я хочу закінчити.
They are Ukrainians, and it is all that we have to say. This is what I wanted to tell today. We are waiting for your questions. We are ready to talk quite a lot. What we are facing today are some practical issues. Well, right now I still have my hands shaking. Thank you very much. Good day. My name is Olga Sergeeva. I am an inhabitant of the eastern Ukraine. I'm from Luhansk, and I know how difficult it is to abandon your home when these kind of events, when you find yourself in the midst of such situation. I beg the citizens of the eastern Ukraine to correctly assess the level of danger and take a good decision. If you see that you are threatened, I beg you to use an opportunity to leave the sites of anti-terrorist operation and to avoid endangering yourself and your relatives. As of today, we have merged the initiatives Euromaydan SOS Donbas, SOS Donetsk, SOS Vostok SOS Akhmetov Foundation. We bring our efforts together to move people away from Kramatorsk and Slavyansk. We are cooperating with the state structures to make sure that our activities are efficient. Ruslana has already said what kind of aid we need, and we hope that you will help us disseminating information about our initiative, and besides that you will disseminate information about collection of funds for the refugees. I would also like to add that Akhmetov Foundation its press service asked us to address all mass media with the following message. Everybody who has relatives in Slavyansk and Kramatorsk, please provide this information to the Akhmetov Foundation using the hotline. These hotlines are online. You can find this information at my Facebook page. We have disseminated this information in internet. So please provide us with this information immediately using any resources for us to know that there are people with whom we have no contact. The volunteers are now going to look around for senior people, people who cannot move on their own. Yesterday, we helped moving away for people who were staying in the cellar of the house with one adult and three children, one child, 1 year old, 4.5-year-old child, and 8-year-old child. Just think about that. How many people have you already succeeded in hosting? Well, why have I said that Maidan has stopped? Maidan has started, but it has not stopped. Please do not even think about my previous phrase. How many people have you helped from Slavyansk, from the hotspot? Today we have statistics only from the Renat Akhmetov Foundation. As for us, we have 300 people that we needed to think on how we can evacuate. That is why we are saying we are just starting working with the Minister of Emergency Situations. The Ministry of Emergency Situation is working on evacuation, on providing social assistance. We have received a special form for them and instruction on how to fill in these forms. Of course, there are headquarters in the regions, but we will see how they will function. Today, we have 300 persons, and now we are trying to move 16% out over the hotspots, and more people to be moved away tomorrow. We are afraid that the evacuation be stopped by terrorists. The only message is that every single day, if we cannot if we fail moving one group of people this day, it will be postponed tomorrow. And now I would like to address Mr. Poroshenko. If the evacuation is not organized immediately, you will accumulate social negative. So it is not to your benefit to move people away from the hotspots. It is very important to organize it first and fast. Men, they should be checked at the filtration spots, but women and children, they should not be collected at the filtration spots. It is very difficult to organize them. It is very difficult to work on the logistics. So after we have worked with people, we beg not to detain people in any additional filtration zones, because this is the procedure that should be taken care of as fast as possible. Please turn off bureaucracy. Please stop talking about 35 wet seals at these or those documents, because by that you simply stop providing high-quality evacuation. People who want to get evacuated, who they should call? Well, they can call hotspot. I have a hotspot. It is the Facebook. People who have relatives, please address me directly. We have a hotspot, hotline at Vostok SOS. Ola is now going to take Euromaydan SOS also had a hotline, and locally the foundation we have been working with, Renat Akhmetov Foundation. This is the foundation we trust immensely. Our telephone numbers are at vostoksos.org. We also provide legal counsel, primary legal aid. As for placement of people, of course, we have possibilities to place people in the eastern and western Ukraine. We have a number of proposals that have been accumulated at the time when Crimeans were evacuated, and we will help as many people as only necessary. I would also like to add, we address all the organization and volunteers. There are a lot of people providing their assistance. There are special groups. For instance, families from Odessa have decided to
І звертаємося до всіх людей. Наше тепло потрібно тим, хто не по своїй вині опинився в біді. Тому ми повинні і зобов'язані зараз надати всю необхідну допомогу для тих людей, які цього потребують. Саме тепло їх відігріє. Не кількість коєк і канапок, а саме тепло їх і відігріє. Хоча, ще раз підкреслюю, в держави є достатній ресурс, щоб надати всю соціальну допомогу і захист людям з гарячих крапок, які хочуть переїхати.
Колеги, запитання, не забувайте представлятись, будь ласка.
Добрий день, Яна Курченко, «Соціальна країна». Ви говорили про те, що обійшли всі владні кабінети. Можна, будь ласка, детальніше, куди саме ви зверталися і що вам там сказали?
Ми маємо координатора від адміністрації президента, ми маємо координатора від Яреми, ми маємо, чому я і сказала, що з наступного тижня будуть відбуватися прес-конференції в Кабміні, тому що якраз це вже на підставі домовленості з ними. Ми домовилися, що їх штаб і наш волонтерський штаб, ми будемо працювати разом. Це вигідно і їм, і нам. Вони нам надають ресурс, який ми даємо їм запити, вони забезпечують нам цей запит. Ми говоримо, що в такому-то місті то треба стільки-то, того-то і того-то. І вони так само опираються на наш ресурс, тому що ми їм саме і надаємо людей, яких ми збираємо, щоб розуміли, військові не можуть це робити, це можуть робити тільки або організації Червоного Хреста, або от такі фонди, волонтери самі локальні на місці. Бо це є дуже-дуже тонкий момент. Значить, адміністрацію президента я вам сказала, координатора від адміністрації президента я маю. Від Яреми координатора я маю. З МНСом я напряму взагалі працюю з головою. По регіональних штабах ми ще не розібралися, зараз якраз будемо тільки розбиратися. На місці координатори в мене є. З військовими ми контактуємо кожен день, в нас наради, з тими людьми, які керують АТО. Так само в мене постійні наради і постійний контакт. Тобто всі служби повністю на контакті. І від МВС, від Авакова так само є координатор. Всі ці люди є. І, слава Богу, більшість цих людей я знаю і не один рік, тому це дозволяє, якщо я буду спати трошки менше, ніж завжди, то це дозволяє нам всім скоординуватися і швидко діяти. Є. Є вона, от як тільки вона буде вже предметно поступати, от я вам буду звітуватися. Вони надали стільки-то, того-то, того-то і того-то. Воно поїхало туди-то, такі-то і так далі. Ми для цього хочемо на наступному тижні якраз робити ці прес-брифінги, вони нам необхідні. Ви якраз і теж заставите щось на них говорити. Це так само механізм, який підштовхує державу швидко реалізовувати якісь речі. Тому журналісти, будь ласка, активізуйтеся в цьому напрямку, слідкуйте за тим, як держава евакуює, як надає соціальну допомогу. Так само робіть матеріали, репортажі. І не забувайте обов'язково розповідати історії людей, які переїжджають в Україну. Вони вибрали Україну, і їх більшість. Це для нас важливо. Це наш імідж. Є в нас ще люди, які можуть так само додати від себе кілька слів. Є Олексій Рябчук из Донецка. Леш, я бы очень хотела, чтобы ты брифлі сказав все, що у тебе наболіло. І після цього я ще хочу представити одну людину, яка в даний момент розшукує своїх людей близьких в Слов'янську. І ми прямо зараз у вас на очах спробуємо надати їй допомогу, як ми це робимо.
Здравствуйте, меня зовут Рябчин Алексей, кандидат экономических наук, доцент кафедры международной экономики Донецкого национального университета. Пару недель назад приехал в Киев со своей семьей и тоже помогаю освещать события, помогать беженцам. Мой месседж – это, наверное, больше рефлексия на несколько материалов, которые появились в интернете, что люди из Донецка переезжают, им помогают безвозмездно люди с Киева, Западной Украины, с Центральной Украины, и появляются какие-то наглые люди, которые требуют: купите нам еще сигареты, туда-сюда, и не разговаривайте с нами на украинской мове. И люди действительно на эти месседжи фейковые очень сильно ведутся, и я бы просто хотел сказать...
Троллятину, называй вещи своими именами.
Троллятина, да, то есть
Тролли.
я бы хотел...
Хватит гнать, тролли, хватит гнать.
Пообщайтесь с этими людьми просто. Когда вы увидите, что люди плачут от той благодарности, и они не ожидали даже настолько, что им будут помогать простые люди, ожидая помощи от государства, люди получают помощь от простых людей, и для них это настолько большая благодарность, что вы просто разобьете все эти мифы о тех каких-то негативных историях, которые были придуманы. Может быть, есть такое, да, в семье не без урода, но в основной своей массе люди из Донецка, они миролюбивые, они очень добрые, они украинцы. Спасибо.
Спасибо тебе за эти слова. Ти тільки що зробив імідж України. Так, я бы хотела запросити тоді вас. Выходи, представься, очень коротко, только не плачь, пожалуйста, расскажи свою историю.
Здравствуйте, меня зовут Олеся Шарыпина. Я сама родом из города Славянска, и сейчас в данный момент мои родители находятся в этом городе. Я хочу сказать, что на самом деле там сейчас очень страшно. И в ночь с понедельника на вторник, когда произошел очень сильный обстрел города, я потеряла связь со своими родителями. Моя мама Светлана Анатольевна Сербина и папа Александр Павлович Сербин сейчас находятся в городе Славянске, и у меня нет с ними связи. В городе нет света, в городе нет воды, в городе практически не осталось продуктов. Поэтому мне сложно что-то сказать.
It is very difficult for me to speak because now it is the peaceful citizens who are dying. A small girl, 5 years old, Masha, who was murdered because she was shot and she died in her father's hand. Today there are no doctors in the hospitals who can provide high quality medical aid to people. There is no fuel. ATMs are not working. Not a single Ukrainian bank is working in Slavyansk. If there are some stores where you can pay by your cards, the banking payments do not go through. I know that my parents have received the last money in May, so people do not have money anymore.
Dasha, can you hear me? Yes, I can. We are here at the press conference, and I was just talking that development fund for Ukraine. We are working with you for a long time. We know that you have been evacuating people for a long time and evacuated many people, and we are receiving from you requests for everything necessary. I have a person who is looking for their family in Slavyansk. I decided to do this communication during the press conference. I want people to see how it's happening. Maybe I'll give the telephone to this person, and you can listen to the information, and in a couple of days we will respond and show example to the state how we can work in very mobile way so they could follow. Hello? Hello? My name is Olesya. My parents are now in Slavyansk. In Slavyansk at Artyom district. I cannot connect to them at this time. I would like to receive some help. Their name, please. Svetlana Anatolyevna Serbina, Alexander Pavlovich Serbin, and my grandmother, who is 82, is with them as well. Can you give us the exact address where they reside? We'll connect outside cameras, but I have connected with Red Cross, and I have some information for you later. So this is not to show, this is how practically our work looks before press conference and after. If you have questions, please. Valentina Zhelezniak, 112 Channel Ukraine. When you bring people here, where do you house them? Some centers here in Kiev or some other cities. We have two resources. Our volunteer resource, when we gather initiatives of people and we make announcement, and people are ready to help. We have worked through different organizations, through clergy, religious organizations, charitable organizations. There are two sanatoriums, recreation areas. Morshin is willing to receive them. There are people that offer their rooms for housing. But there is resource from the state as well, and that's where we must insist. Government already clearly listed houses, places where we can bring people. We can already get keys. 500 million help came from Europe. It would be sin not to allocate some of that for humanitarian aid. This is very difficult process. A lot of humanitarian aid will be allocated. Japan has already allocated. America is going to, and will need to help coordinate where to go, what to do. People already have certain requests where they would like to go. There was a request. We offered one direction, and they said we want to go to the other direction, and so forth. You understand, this is a human factor, and we need to convince everyone to go where they're willing to go. We had very nice speaker yesterday who said that some hostages from Crimea, don't call them refugees, hostages, call them, give them correct name. We have submitted legislative initiative because law on transposed people in Ukraine is not strong to stand on its feet. We have submitted draft law that already has received a number and resume, and we expect and we require that very soon this law would be passed. So these people, what kind of draft law? The status of people who move from one area to the other due to severe circumstances, adverse circumstances. So Euromaydan SOS, the group that has submitted this project to us, it's volunteer design draft law, so we'll look forward to its transposition. They want to produce these documents very fast. The Ministry of Emergency said that they will be very mobile in their activities. Sergei Bochkovsky, the chief, said that they know how to make this procedure of renewal of all the documents, and this is our second day working, but I'm just learning. I'm not very competent yet, but my task is to bring as much attention as possible to the problem. That's what I'm doing. More questions, please? Okay. Unia. Law foresee? What status will it give to these people? Will there be some financial support, a new registration? Couple words, please. Sasha, can you speak? Or who can speak on this draft law? Ola, do you have any messages left on the draft law? I have everything in my computer. I think you can go to Parliament website. Ruslana says that there is registration number, and we can, we'll just give this information in a couple seconds. We have it available. We'll provide. Here. Draft law developed by the experts of Kharkiv, a group on legal defense, and Helsinki group, as well as Commissioner on Human Rights and Citizens, who are representatives of UN. The draft law will help register forcefully replaced people, and will facilitate the procedure of re-registration of their property, etc. In addition, this law and civil initiatives that represent the interests of transposed people will ensure one-time help and favorable mortgage possibilities. Some norms of Ukrainian law and freedoms of Ukrainian citizens at occupied territories are just declarative. For example, some students, including commercially studying students, would receive right to study in other places of Ukraine, but Ministry of Education and Science has not developed mechanism of transferring students that study without scholarship to another place where they would receive scholarship at expense of state budget. And these students are required to pay for their studies, which is in opposition to declaration in the law. So we refer to the document by Cabinet of Ministers of number 65 that it does not allow for people who are moving from one university to the other to create additional chairs to study Crimean Tatar language and culture. And some people asked me to assist in providing new jobs to these people. They even can go into construction or whatever other business. We need to make sure that we work well because we have a small team. Please join us with other initiatives. I'm very serious. One more week of our work, we will die. So please join and help. Microphone, please. Is it registered? Yes, there is a number. Just day before yesterday, we have submitted this initiative. Yesterday, we have received certain amendments, and this would not be a problem because I see the process is progressing quite well. I am sure nobody would want to halt this process. Every office that should receive a copy has received a copy, so we have no complaints so far. It's only 3 days from the beginning. Ruslana, thank you. We have registration number. I just cannot locate it at the moment. Yeah, I will tell you on Monday if you have more questions. We'll keep doing the briefings on the topic. Thank you and have a good day.